You wake up. Everything looks normal. The walls, the light, the voices. Then you look at someone you have loved your entire life. Their face is perfect. Their voice is identical. Every detail matches. Yet your mind whispers something terrifying. This is not them. This is someone pretending. How could a human brain reach such an impossible conclusion? For a small number of people, this is not fiction. It is everyday life. Capgras syndrome is one of the strangest conditions ever documented. People affected by it recognize familiar faces. They know exactly who they are looking at. They can describe every feature, but they no longer feel the emotional certainty that normally comes with recognition. Instead, they become convinced that the real person has been replaced, not by someone who looks similar, by an identical imposter. Imagine looking at your mother. You know every wrinkle, every expression, every movement. Yet something feels empty. The emotional connection is gone. Your brain searches for an explanation. It creates one. This cannot be my mother. It must be someone else. Would you trust your own eyes? Or your own feelings? This disorder was first described in 1923 by French psychiatrist Joseph Capgras. He treated a woman who insisted that nearly everyone around her had been replaced by doubles. Not only her family, her neighbors, her friends, even strangers. She believed an enormous network of imposters had taken over her world. At first, many thought it was simply another form of psychosis. But decades of neurological research revealed something far more complex. The problem is not eyesight. It is not memory. It is the invisible bridge between recognition and emotion. Your brain recognizes faces through specialized regions, including the fusiform face area. Normally, another network instantly creates a feeling of familiarity. That feeling arrives before you even notice it. You do not consciously think, "I love this person." You simply feel it. Now imagine those two systems becoming disconnected. Recognition survives. Emotion disappears. The face remains. The certainty dies. Researchers such as Dr. V.S. Ramachandran propose that this broken emotional pathway may explain why Capgras syndrome appears after brain injuries, dementia, schizophrenia, or certain neurodegenerative diseases. The eyes report the truth. The emotions remain silent. Your brain cannot accept that contradiction. So it invents another explanation. The person must be fake. This may sound irrational, but your brain does this constantly. Every second. It builds stories to explain incomplete information. Most of those stories happen so smoothly that you never notice them. Capgras simply exposes the process. It reveals how fragile certainty really is. Could your strongest beliefs exist only because your brain found the most comfortable explanation? Scientists have tested patients with fascinating experiments. When shown photographs of relatives, they often recognize them correctly. But when researchers measured automatic emotional responses through skin conductance, something was missing. Healthy people show subtle physiological reactions when seeing someone they love. Patients with Capgras often do not. Their bodies remain strangely calm. Their brains know the face. Their emotions do not. That tiny absence changes reality itself. Think about what that means. Your relationships may depend on electrical signals traveling through microscopic neural pathways. A few damaged connections. A few silent neurons. And the people you love become strangers. How much of your identity depends on connections you never notice? Capgras syndrome also reveals another uncomfortable truth. You do not experience reality directly. You experience your brain's interpretation of reality. Every color, every sound, every memory, every face. Your brain assembles them into a coherent world. You never compare that world with objective reality. You simply assume they are the same. Most of the time, they probably are. Sometimes, they are not. This is why neurological disorders fascinate scientists. They expose hidden machinery. They reveal mental processes that remain invisible in healthy people. The brain is not a camera. It is an active storyteller. It fills gaps, predicts outcomes, creates certainty from uncertainty. Neuroscientist Karl Friston proposed the idea that the brain constantly predicts reality instead of merely recording it. According to predictive processing theories, perception is a controlled hallucination corrected by incoming sensory information. Normally, prediction and sensation agree. In Capgras syndrome, they collide. Recognition says yes. Emotion says no. The mind chooses the explanation that feels less impossible. An imposter. Not because it is logical, because it restores internal consistency. History contains many documented cases. Some patients accused spouses of being replaced. Others believed hospitals exchanged their children. Some even feared that entire governments had substituted everyone they knew. The beliefs often remained unshakable. Logic rarely changed them, because emotion had already rewritten reality. Ask yourself something disturbing. If your emotional system stopped recognizing the people closest to you, how would you ever prove they were real? Perhaps the most frightening lesson is not that Capgras syndrome exists. It is that your confidence in reality depends on biological mechanisms you never chose. You trust your family because your brain allows you to. You trust your memories because your brain reconstructs them. You trust your identity for exactly the same reason. Remove enough invisible connections, and certainty dissolves. The people around you may never change. Only your perception does. And if your entire world depends on perception, how can you ever be completely certain that the world you experience is the world that truly exists?